Hello coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Look what we've got here, a 1926, 27, 28, and 29 Lincoln pennies. So you might have guessed it, in today's video we're going to be talking about the 1920s Lincoln pennies. Now you might have a 1920 in front of you, as that is the highest year of production. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the lowest year of production, which was 1922, as well as talk about a very, very valuable era coin, which was known as the 1922 No D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. But before we get into that, let me promote the channel a little. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. What we do here is we talk about rare coins, era coins, give kind of decade overviews on coins, just all about coin collecting. We've got daily videos that post around between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. each night. So if you want to get notifications every time a video gets posted, you can hit the bell button next to the subscribe button. Now let's get back into it. So the highest mintage year for the 1920s, as I said, was 1920 Philadelphia Mint. At the 1920 Philadelphia Mint, there were 310 million Lincoln pennies produced. 1920 was the second highest year of production from the start date of 1909 until 1939. The highest production year was the previous year in 1919, in which there were 392 million produced. So 1919 and 1920, very high production year for the Lincoln pennies. In 1920, there were also 49 million produced at the Denver Mint and 46 million produced at the San Francisco Mint. Interestingly, a couple years later, they really slowed down the production amount. In fact, in 1922, there were only 7 million coins produced for these Lincoln pennies. 7 million produced. So you are 57 times more likely to get a 1920 penny from one of the three mints than you are to get a 1922 penny. And in 1922, they only produced them at the Denver Mint. However, most people didn't realize that, as some of the coins that they were getting their hands on were dated 1922 but didn't appear to have a mint mark on them. So those coins, it was later discovered that that was an error. The mint was actually trying to produce all of these coins, and they had a D mint mark on them. However, that mint mark got obliterated, so some of the coins that were being produced from the Denver Mint didn't actually have that mint mark on them. But there were so many of these produced that the coin collecting albums, the coin books, actually had a place for the 1922 Philadelphia Mint penny, even though there wasn't one that was produced. Now, era coins usually aren't included in the coin collecting books, but people at the time didn't realize that this was an error coin until the mint later came out and corrected itself and let everyone know that these were actual error coins. Now, these can be very, very, very valuable if you have one of those error coins. There are three known types of error coins out there, and they depend on the state of the kind of obliterated mint mark or the clogged mint mark. There's the bold, which has a very strong D strike to it. There's the weak, which is a weaker one. The ghost one, which is barely visible, and the no mint mark, which is a 1922 but doesn't have a mint mark on it at all. Now, as you can imagine, the 1922 with no mint mark on it at all is the most valuable in this series. In fact, there have been some that have sold recently at auctions for the tens of thousands of dollars. Most recently, at a April 2018 Heritage auction, a PCGS graded Mint State 63 RD, so that has a penny with the red designation, meaning that it's got 95 to 100% of its original red coloring to it that you would expect from a copper penny. So a Mint State 63 RD sold at auction for $48,000. Now, PCGS has a graded population of just one of those. They've also graded one at a Mint State 64 RD. Now, that has a price guide of $100,000, but that has not come up at auction. So we're not sure how accurate that $100,000 would be, but we know that we can verify the Mint State 63 is actually worth that $48,000, or at least that's what someone paid for it. Now, as I said earlier in the video, there are a lot of these that are known out there to exist, but those come in the kind of the weaker of the D strike reverse, and they also have that BN designation indicating that they are brown and don't have any of their original red color. In fact, PCGS has graded 5,452 of the 1922 no D strong reverse at a BN designation. So there are a lot out there at the brown designation. Where you get a real valuable coin is when you get up into the RB and the RD designation, when your coin has some of that original red coloring to it. So that's kind of all I've got for today. I wanted to highlight that 1922 no D penny as a very key date and a key coin to look out for, as well as the 1922 has a very low mintage in general, even if you don't have that missing mint mark to it. And we also talked about in this video how common the 1920s wheat pennies are, the 1920, the 1920D, and the 1920S. That makes up a very high population of 1920 pennies. So if you've been wondering why you're coming across so many 1920s, that could be the reason right there. 310 million were made just at the Philadelphia Mint. So that's all I've got for today. If you're into coin collecting, please do check out some of the other videos on this channel. I've got a lot of great ones that have been going up recently. Recently, I highlighted the 1980s Washington quarters, Kennedy half dollars, Mercury dime collection from 41 to 45, as well as more modern dime pennies made after 1965. So please do check it out. Enjoy, and best of luck coin collecting out there, everyone. Take care.